All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Iowa Western Championship stream tonight for Hearthstone. I'm Josh, joined by,
I'm Keith.
and we're bringing you, as I said, we're bringing you Hearthstone. Wise Song, having made it all the way to the finals here. You know, it's right there at the bottom. Tier 1 National Finals are here for tonight and for Thursday. Don't want to forget Gunfight coming up later in the week. But very, very interesting road to the finals here for Wise is... starting out 0-2 and having to reverse sweep the semifinal game was insane to watch, and just crazy that we are where we are. So
Absolutely, especially to reverse sweep the defending national champion. Great mental fortitude and really good program we have here. Jay as well. Another one of our Hearthstone players was also in the semifinals. Unfortunately, he did drop 2-3 to Salt Lake Community College, which is funnily enough where her opponent, like both of her opponents, came from. So a little bit of a kind of like a grudge match, each other knocking out the other's teammate. So
yeah,
really kind of the final boss, if you will, the one that your friend fell to. We'll see who comes out on top here.
And very interesting, going back to that, knocking out the teammate. Wise knocked out the defending national champion, and then Jay was our national runner-up. So both these colleges have been in the finals before, but different people, and neither one is a returner at this season, even though they had the opportunity. Semifinals being Iowa Western versus Salt Lake. It's still that way, but neither one have been in this position before.
Absolutely. It's very interesting to see that both the community colleges that were in the national finals are now as well in this year's national finals, but neither of the players who were in the finals last year have made it to this to this national finals. So very interesting dynamics there. We have kind of a grudge match with Salt Lake Community College. Let's go Big Blue, go Reavers, sails up.
Big Blue.
And it'll be really, really interesting to see the different styles, to see, because we saw them last week, to see if they bring out different styles, if they bring out different decks, if they, are they planning on tripping up the opponent, or are they going to play the styles that they played last week and just go at it with their best? It'll be really interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what the opponent from Salt Lake pulls out, because I remember he did a Death Knight deck. He had
Demon Hunter,
Demon Hunter, and then I don't remember what the third one was.
Let's see.
I want to say it was like Warlock.
It was Gul'dan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was Warlock. Those were kind of the three styles that he played. So we'll have to see. Definitely Wise's styles. We've seen her play time and time again. We know the things that she's comfortable with. You know a little bit more about those matchups. So can you talk to me about, like, for example, her Healing Priest deck is the one she reverse swept with. How does that stack up versus a Demon Hunter deck or versus a Warlock deck?
I don't know particularly about the Warlock deck. It's the one gray area I have in my knowledge, but I would say in terms of her priest is kind of is called what the community for Hearthstone is like Miracle, because it has a very specific thing that it wants to do. So it's like the Hail Mary kind of throw, where it's like you want that piece to make it happen. It's very possible, because that deck can also play very aggro in terms of... but so does the Demon Hunter deck. The Demon Hunter deck is also very, very aggro, where it's like you have cards that as soon as you get them, you want to play them because that's exactly what they're there for. They're just going to do damage to face. They're going to try and get you as low as possible, so that way the next time the next turn comes around, they can just OTK you and get you out of the game as soon as possible. So,
with all of that in mind, do you feel like Wise stacks up against him better than Jay did, or do you think that she needs to change around her style in order to be a better opponent?
I always think it's probably better to change your style up to match your opponent. If it were me in Wise's situation, off of what I saw from Jay last week, I don't know what deck he has as his fourth that got banned by Jay, but I would definitely want to get rid of the Death Knight, because I think the Death Knight setup that he had last week has the ability to just pull out an OTK that you're not ready for. Because he had, I don't remember the name of the spell, but the thing that he destroyed Jay's deck with last week was a spell that just did 10 damage right to his face. And it's an upgradable spell, so you just keep playing stuff. I think it was based off of how many corpses he had. So he had like 20 or 30 corpses that just did 10 damage. So.
Yeah, he got really up there with the amount of corpses,
Yeah.
and then he got a lot of plagues into Jay's deck, so it was just, 1 damage this turn, 2 damage this turn, 3 damage this turn, and it just eventually whittled him away. Now, for something like a life gain, like I believe the Miracle deck, that has like life gain in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be enough to counteract what the Death Knight deck wants to do, or do you think that the Death Knight deck is just too powerful for the Miracle deck to keep up with?
Honestly, it depends on the RNG of the plagues, I would say, because the Blood Plague, you just take 2 damage. If you get Frost Plague, which is what ended up really throwing Jay for a loop last time, was he got Frost Plagues, and the Frost Plagues increased the mana cost, I think, by like 1 or 2. And Jay had lethal or close to lethal at one point, and then the Frost Plague came out, I think, last turn, and then Jay just didn't have anything left because the mana value went up and what he wanted to play was just out of reach at that point. So anything over there yet? Okay. Then we will just continue. We are on a 5-minute delay, by the way, for those in the audience who are joining us. That may take a while for you to reach even though we are on a 5-minute delay. But
For competitive integrity.
yes, for competitive integrity, we are on a 5-minute delay for the national championships tonight, because in Hearthstone, there are cards that you can end up having sit in your hand for a very, very long time. So
Absolutely. And while we're on a delay, now is the perfect time for us to plug our little socials event. Follow us here at Twitch TV, Iowa Western /CC. Follow us at YouTube, IWCC Esports, and the same handle for X, formerly known as Twitter. And it will forever be called Twitter in my heart.
same here.
Forever. I don't care who
Elon
owns
is
it.
not paying me to call it X. It's never getting called X.
Absolutely. I don't have that blue check mark.
See that? Maybe? No, I'm not going to worry about it.
Close enough.
Close enough. Sometimes it will focus on the card, sometimes it won't. That's all right.
There we go. So a little bit more about Weiss in the scene. Jay, I won't say taught her how to play Hearthstone, but definitely a mentor for her.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to affect her coming into this round to be playing against the person who took out her friend, her mentor?
I would say no, mainly because she went into her game against the defending champion, went down 0-2 and just reverse swept. Is it a thing? Will nerves count? Probably, but I don't think it'll count any more than it would have normally, where it was like, oh, this person knocked out Jay, where it's like, well, Jay, I think, lost at least once in the regular season, and I think she played the same person and it didn't really affect her at all. So, Wise has taken games, not a full series, but games off Jay too. So I don't think it's going to be anything that, I personally don't think it would affect Wise's mental or nerves at all that this person managed to take Jay out. Because if they went back and watched, they would have realized that it went 2-2 all the way to the end. Like, it was completely just down to last deck versus last deck, and it was Lifesteal hand buff Paladin against Mega Corpse Death Knight. It's like literally the best descriptors I have for each of those decks, and it was just down to the RNG of the Frost Plagues that the member from Salt Lake got. So
Yeah. So with Wise, I imagine this week Jay has spent a lot of time playing with Wise, dueling each other, trying to get her ready for this upcoming match. We talked about Wise bringing something new to the table. Do we think her opponent is also going to read that and bring new things to the table, or are people pretty much set in their style whenever they have a Hearthstone deck?
I think people are pretty set in their style when they have a Hearthstone deck. True, I think some things will change when nerfs and stuff come through, but I think for the most part, people have decks that they enjoy playing more often than others. And I wouldn't expect somebody to have like a 5th deck just waiting in the background for them to like pull out willy-nilly and just like, I haven't played this deck all season. It's time to just like pull it out in the finals and just like sweep a game for no reason. So, because also that goes to the fact that if you do have a deck like that you're not normally going to play, chances are it's also going to get affected by nerfs, because even if you don't play it during the season, there's no guarantee that the rest of the population of the game doesn't play it. And that could end up leaking your strategy a little bit and end up getting your deck nerfed or buffed or whatever. So
yeah, I did hear talking with Kilk before or during last stream of Hearthstone that the Demon Hunter deck had just received a set of nerfs. And so both Jay and Wise were actually really surprised to see that in both of their lineups, that it was still really popular. Is that like the case of it being a really popular deck with normal players that it got nerfed, or is that kind of like a niche build?
Normally, if you receive, I would say normally if you receive nerfs like that, your deck is a lot more popular than you think it is. Normally, and this goes to, you know, any data scientist out in the world, you're going to have the back end data. If you're, you know, Blizzard, you're going to know how many times people are going to play these decks with these cards in them to play this particular combo, and then you're going to be like, okay, well, this combo may be a little too easy to get wins with, so they're going to nerf it a little bit. Now, nerfing it a little bit doesn't mean that it's completely, you know, that they completely flip the script and then the deck goes from like above a 50% win rate to like a below 30. You know, it may just end up moving the deck a couple points. Doesn't mean it's going to completely destroy the meta for the deck at all. Just makes it the combo harder to get, but doesn't mean the combo isn't as the combo isn't as explosive. Like it just means it's harder to get there. You have a longer fuse on it. So lack for a better term.
And I definitely think, just in kind of my personal opinion, like even if something's weaker than the statistical average or something may not be the meta, if you know how to play it and you're comfortable on it, that can be even more important than playing something that is meta that you may not have as much experience on.
Yeah.
So I think really that was what tripped up Jay and Wise from the last time that they fought, especially seeing that Demon Hunter deck. Jay admitted that he wasn't prepared for it. But we're going to go ahead and get in game now. It looks like we are starting the match. So talk to me a little bit about these decks. It looks like we have... I can't see. It's a little too dark.
This is the one we didn't see from Jelly last week. I'm assuming his fourth deck was Warrior that got banned by Jay. Wise is playing Shaman, which she did. I do believe she did play last week.
Yes.
This is another gray area in my knowledge, is how well and what kind of version Shaman is playing currently. But Wise is starting with the coin this turn, starting with this frog here.
Yeah, a nice little 1-2. Quick, easy to get on the board. We'll see how her opponent answers. Looks like he's going to start gaining armor, that warrior deck. He's going to start stacking it.
So this, part of me wonders if this is the same deck that her opponent from last week played, is if they both have a similar control warrior deck. In which case, if he continues to play Control Warrior, we already kind of know how Wise can play around this Control Warrior. This is where I was a little confused, because like, if his fourth deck was a Control Warrior that he didn't get to play last week, if he had a setup or knew how his teammate played, why he would continue to play a Control Warrior, but to each their own at that point. If he thinks he can play it better than his teammate did, then I give him, you know, all credit to him. But we've already seen Wise, you know, beat this deck 3 times in a row.
Especially because her other opponent at that time was the defending national champion. But, you know, he's here in the finals now, and his friend is not. So maybe he feels like, you know, he did really good with Jay. If Jay was scared of this deck, maybe he thought, oh, that's, you know, let me go ahead and use that. Maybe I'll do better than last time. Definitely still got that armor, even with Wise slowly whittling him down. It looks like he's drawing a lot of cards. Is that one of the benefits of this kind of deck, is the draw power?
Yeah, Control, normally you want to have a lot of draw power. That way you have extra stuff. The issue here is that because he's drawing a lot, and he wants to control the board, if he doesn't get aggro quickly enough, he can end up, like, he's already starting to lose HP. Now, Wise is in a position where it would be beneficial for the warrior to use something like Brawl, but I don't think he has the mana for that yet. It is only turn 5.
Definitely, and it looks like she's already summoned 2 frog totems with taunt, so definitely something to consider. Gaining 5 armor.
Yeah, that's a card you're gonna want back at some point. Like Warrior Shield Bash is huge because yes, you do as much damage as you have armor, and it can be whittled down, but it could also be like a very like execute based ability because you have an enemy minion that just has a lot of health and HP you want to get rid of. It's either do that damage based on your armor, or you just take that and you lose that much armor. So.
And then Wise has definitely got a lot on her board right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to, get a board clear here just to try and get rid of all of her stuff. Is that something that this deck will have?
This deck should have it. Whether it will or not is completely up to how they've made the deck. There's a forge, so there's an upgraded copy. At this point, I don't know if a brawl is worth it though, because everything on 5 damage to split between them. Yeah, well, I mean that's the clear, but she kept her spell damage totem, which can actually be huge. Yeah. The Prison of Yogg-Saron can come out next turn, which is the 7 mana cost card in her hand.
And then she already has Reno in her hand as well.
Yeah, she started with that too, which is huge.
Yeah, she could even play the 7 cost, the Prison of Yogg-Saron right now with that extra mana crystal she has in her hand.
Yeah, from the coin, you're correct.
She's going to sunder his armor there. And Battle Cry.
Battle Cry with an overload. I'm glad she went for the cord and not for the aftershocks, because it doesn't fit every minion, which is something people tend to miss when it has the opportunity. Is just like they don't read the fact that it says all instead of just like not just say enemy on it. So
those fine details.
The fine details, yes.
So it looks like she summoned another totem. Which one is that?
That's the healing totem.
Very
so
nice.
one HP to all minions every turn. It doesn't overheal, thankfully, because that would be mega busted. That would be mega busted, yes. But yeah, if you lose at least 1 HP on a minion, you will get back 1 HP that turn, at the end of that turn.
There we go.
A temporary card. Shield block, okay. Kind of what you really wanted out of a temporary card, because then you get armor that doesn't go away.
Definitely trying to stack that armor. He's lost a little bit of HP, but that armor has kept him relatively safe. So he has more draw power. He can eventually get down to what he wants to do, which I'm imagining is just, board clears and then some big hits. Is that kind of the theme of this deck?
For you talking about for Warrior?
Yeah.
It depends. Like, control Warrior, you're going to have a lot of things to control the board. Eventually, toward the end, when you have full mana, you'll start to have very high-cost things that will do big hits for you. But if I'm being completely honest, we didn't see a lot of that last week when Wise was against this deck. Trial by Fire is huge here, because when they die, they get HP back. They go 2/2, 3/3, 4/4. They just get... this is actually a really good shot for Wise to use Aftershocks, though. Because, well... They get the Death Rattle will make them 4/4s and then 5/5s, so it'll get rid of a 3/3, but it won't get rid of a 4/4 that I'm aware of. Okay, that totem is annoying because it gets armor every turn, so that needs to go away. This might be a good time for Lightning Storm, because it does damage right at the start. So there's no chance for Valkyries to get the bonus. Unlike Aftershocks, where it would destroy the 3/1 first, and they would turn the others into 4/4s. Also, she got the spell power totem again.
Very nice draw on that spell power. We'll see if it can actually stay up on the board. That is a big creature.
Odin, I think, buffs the armor value gained by the hero power, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what it turns it into. It's normally 2. It might turn it into 5, but... there's another spell damage. She's probably going to use it, just to get rid of Odin here.
Yep, definitely something to get rid of.
Goodbye, Odin. And lifesteal on that, too. She got all of her health back.
She was never missing any health. Really sad that it doesn't overheal, though. She had 30 HP to start with.
So, yeah. Interesting thing here. 2 spell damage on field with a taunt totem. So she does 2 extra damage per spell here.
Very, very interesting kind of setup here. He's stacking armor, and she's just trying to do lots of little hits with spells. It's kind of almost similar to 2 different types of control decks going up against each other.
I honestly want to say that if this continues in this fashion, if there's no huge swings, that I think Wise just wins on. Well, she gets noticed right now. She has more cards.
Yes.
Just in general, she has more cards. I don't expect the Warrior for control to have all that much. Bladestorm is another thing that he's probably going to want back because it goes until it kills the first thing in the turn. But that can do a lot of damage.
Definitely.
And clearing the totems isn't really a lot because you can get those back as a shaman really quickly. This is a weapon, though. This is like Miracle Weapon Warrior, probably. I wonder what he got, though.
Definitely. That burn is ticking. Gain 2 armor.
Oh, so there's the extra part from Odin. We got the 2 armor, I think, gave him 2 damage as well. So draw 2 cards, overload.
Ancestral knowledge.
Oh, the backstage bouncer is actually huge.
Ooh.
The 4 costs, I think 4/4 with taunt. Deal 8 damage, get a treasure can be huge, but I think you want to save that for something that has more than double the HP.
Yeah, definitely like one of the big minions. Atomic Call, and then a random basic totem. There's the healing totem.
4 5s with taunt, huge, and that's where you would want the Bladestorm because then you could take out both of these taunts at the same time.
But he just burned it. So how many?
Chances are he has 1 left because you can only have 2 copies at most of any single card in your deck.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, can you imagine how busted it would be if you go in a game and it's like, I have 29 Bladestorm.
Literally, though.
He's execute, okay.
There you go.
I think he's using cards that I don't believe he needs to use here. There's a Shield Slam gone, Execute's gone for like a big minion because she still has Prison of Yogg-Saron. She could summon something completely random. The Tumbleweed. You just replaced your weapon for some reason? I'm not sure if this is how... I don't know. Jelly's playing a little odd, if I'm being completely honest. They're kind of overloading themselves on cards. And they have 5 cards left in hand, 14 armor.
That was a nice hefty hit, though.
It was a nice hit, but I think that's part of the Odin spell is that the more armor he has, the more damage he can do. But you're not guaranteed to always have that armor. And he might have just used it all in a situation where he might want that back for an OTK later. So, I don't know.
She is thinking about the Prison of Yogg-Saron here, and she is going to play it.
4 random spells against the enemy. Master Call, Slam, Remorseless Winter, and Quick Shot. So she got 5 damage for free. Which he may want that 5 armor back at some point.
Definitely good to whittle down his armor so he can't pull another attack like that.
8 armor, yeah. That's 13. I think at this point you just... Oh, okay, there's the OTK, yeah.
Yep.
Double tradable armor, yeah. This makes me wonder what deck Wise banned, though. I'm hoping they banned the Death Knight, because I think Death Knight is probably one of the stronger decks this season currently, so... with Death Knight out of the picture, it might be a little bit easier. But the Warrior being out, I think actually works in Wise's favor because the Control Warrior is a very good deck, and as we've seen, like Wise has played it before, but chances are this version was different from the version that she played against her opponent last week. So. It could very well have been that deck as an anchor could have been a lot more useful than just a starter. So,
yeah, and she's
She swapped a warrior herself here, going control, possibly against Demon Hunter, who is going to be very aggro.
It'll be a very interesting matchup for this one.
Zeliak's in hand already is crazy.
That is really nuts. Let's see. Keep or replace cards.
No, she replaced it.
She is going to replace it. Definitely, Zeliak, while being a good card, you know, it is really high cost mana, so she's going to have that in her hand for a really long time before she's able to play it.
I think you start with the safety goggles here just because there's 0. Gonna play the bash. Okay, get rid of the snake oil salesman. Get free armor. I think you start that round off with the safety goggles though, because then you can get the safety goggles is a 0, gives you 6, and then you could have used bash, which would have given you another 3 because you could have had 9 this turn. But you know, chances are she may end up running into a situation where she doesn't have armor again anyway, and she could just use the safety goggles again. Oh yeah, this is aggro Demon Hunter with mechs. Yeah, the totem is actually really good. 2 armor at the end of your turn. Actually, yeah, I would play that over doing your hero power because you can get 2 armor at the end of every turn rather than just at the end of this turn. Ooh, Deep Miner Bran.
Bran. Very interesting World of Warcraft character there. One of the 3 brothers.
Yep.
Battle cry, draw a weapon. Getting out.
This is the umpire deck, where if you draw a weapon, if that's the only weapon you have, then that's the weapon he just got. So this is the deck that probably got nerfed that I don't think is going to be... This Blade Storm. I wouldn't use that yet though.
Definitely not. Very good to have in hand, though, in your back pocket.
And then she forged the Bellowing Flame, so she could do 5 damage and then split 5 damage per target. Yep, there's the Umpire's Grasp. So the Window Shopper is going to come out at some point. There's the safety goggles being worth 0 again.
Let's see, Blast Charge. That's what she just got. Sanitize.
You keep the Sanitize because you want to forge that.
So what would you do right now?
Me, it would be play the safety goggles, and then she forged the Sanitize, so definitely something you want to get on eventually. You don't want to keep that there forever. Gained 8 armor, which is exactly probably what you want to do with that. At the end of this turn, the Demon Hunter should get their Window Shopper because the weapon is destroyed with a Death Rattle. Yep, that's exactly what he just drew.
That toy was made just for
So this is the combo that got this deck nerfed, but I wouldn't say it's all of that, crazy, because the combo I think definitely was too easy to pull off, because it would also lower the amount, I think by like 2 mana for the Window Shopper. So the Window Shopper is normally 5. I think it lowers it to 3. So it was like a 6 mana combo, and they turned it into like a 7 mana combo, I believe. Martendo bot, cast card, +1 hero power. Didn't use it though.
Yeah, very interesting.
That's just a waste of mana at that point, but. No, that actually makes sense for the blast charge. Yep, I would definitely agree with that. The blast charge. So using the I can't remember the name of the card.
Bladestorm?
Bladestorm. Using Bladestorm to damage to use blast charge to basically use as an execute, and then get the Hearth Blossom because you discovered a treasure. What is he gonna get for the 1/1 mini though? Out of the Window Shopper is the question.
So definitely a worthwhile turn from Wise, even though she didn't really have much to gain from it. So she's just
okay.
interesting.
You're gonna returning the 1/1 to hand. I think it makes it so you can get another interesting ability, but I'm not sure. It would have to be a really good card.
We'll see what they do here. They have 3 mana.
Are they gonna play it? No.
The one amalgamate.
Oh, just you just use the reflowing flame. You just hit that thing with just get rid of it. Get rid of the 6/5. Yep, exactly. And then you do 1 damage to all the other minions on board. Goodbye poison. Goodbye wind fury. Bye bye.
Very nice. Very nicely done from Wise there.
Your opponent summons a random minion from their hand. It doesn't. That's actually good because battle cries don't go off if you use that card. Dirty Rat is crazy.
Really?
Yes, it will make it so the battle cry doesn't go off because it's not them summoning the card, it's you. So a 1/1. This is the mini card. Ian, will you hover that for us? We want to see what that card is.
Let's see. It looks like an Inquisitor.
Yeah, it's definitely a legendary minion. The one that the opponent has.
The opponent.
Yeah, it might take a while to get there. Yeah.
There we go.
Rush, so it's normally an 8/8. After your hero attacks, this attacks too. So, yeah, it's like getting that out of hand is great, but it's still only a 1.
+1 attack this turn.
And this is Wise's control warrior. So, going pretty well against an aggro demon hunter right now.
Yep. Now.
And there goes Bran.
Yep.
And I'm going a little bit ahead of the stream so I can
He's a dwarf. You know, they're really loud.
They are very loud. Yes.
We can hear them being summoned.
Oh, there's the
There's Ignis.
Ignis for the custom weapon.
And we'll see. After that first, kind of board clear, she hasn't really ramped up to the same level of minions that she's had on the board previously. Is that kind of like a theme to the deck? Is she trying to focus on some heavy hitters? Like, how does she do damage?
Right now, she's just trying to outlast the Demon Hunter. By control, you win just by making your opponent spend all of their resources and gain nothing out of it, which is what's been happening for the most part. He played the Window Shopper combo, and it didn't really work out for him at all, which is normally the win condition for this deck. You get some kind of crazy Window Shopper combo out of the random cards you get off the Window Shopper, and you can win really easily off of that. But as you saw, even with the combo nerfed, he didn't really get anything for it.
Definitely, and it was really early on as well. So she's still relatively healthy, 25 life. Definitely got a little ways to go. She has not been able to stack armor like he did, though. Is that kind of the different style that she's playing, or is that just the luck of the draw?
I want to say it's luck of the draw so far, but Wise is also playing this a little bit differently than normal. She has to be careful here because he is trying to, he's trying to OTK here. It can be very, I don't even know what you would play at this point. You starts a brawl, you definitely want to use the Badlands guy because you can win that. Excavated twice, this always wins. So you would need a second excavate to guarantee the Badlands guy wins. But I don't think she has a second one yet. 2 damage friendly to an enemy minion. There's the brawl coming out by the brawler. I don't think she can guarantee it wins though.
So she's kind of gambling it all here.
Yeah, she... Oh, it started a second brawl. Oh, because of Bran. Okay, Bran started a second brawl there, but that's kind of interesting. This is bad. Yeah, she loses this one, unfortunately, because of the Demonic Blast. So it's Wise down 0-2 again, but it comes down to our opponent's last deck. We've seen him use Demon Hunter. We've seen him use Warrior. So it depends. Like, we know he's used Death Knight in the past. We know he's used Warlock in the past. So depending upon what the last deck is, Wise has a significant advantage, in my opinion. Because she has a deck she hasn't played yet. She's played Warrior and she's played Shaman into our opponent so far. So he knows that she has those. So it depends on what his last deck can do and how well it can do it.
But she has the advantage here of being able to choose which of the 3 decks she wants to play again, correct?
Yeah. So he's playing Shaman, and I believe Wise is playing Mech Rogue.
So more than likely her Miracle deck is the one that was banned.
Yeah, the Priest deck was probably more than likely the one that got banned.
Gotcha.
That, or she might have gone with new decks that she hasn't normally played because she expected them to try and counter. So, it'll be interesting. Deafen on the side there is actually a rogue priest card, as you see with the dual backing. That's like black and white, so that's a dual class card.
Yeah, so she started with 3 hands. I'm assuming that's because she mulliganed.
She mulliganed her whole thing, but the reason she started with 3 cards is because she's going first, so she doesn't have the coin in her hand.
Gotcha. Overdraft, unlock your overloaded mana crystals.
I don't know why you would play that this early. Normally, Shaman wants to overload their stuff for that combo, but they didn't want to worry about overloaded mana crystals, and they just played it early.
And that is a Ziliax in Wise's hand, so drew that really early.
Yeah, and then lowered the cost of it, I believe, too. It was 7, and now it's 5, I believe. The Spider is going to come out at some point. I think get a Magnetic to the Ziliax is the combo. Double Deafen in hand, too. So silence for many minions that Jelly can pull out here.
Yep, so we'll see. He's thinking about it. He's thinking of playing some cards here. We'll see what he goes with. So, Wise is in a very similar position to the semifinals. Down 0-2. We'll see if she can perform the reverse sweep, just like she did on, I believe it was Annihilation or an Illusion or...
An Illusion, yeah.
We'll see if she's able to do the same thing here, a 2-peat reverse sweep versus Salt Lake Community College. She's got some things on the board. Looks like she's really racking up those reduced mana costs.
All those Spark bots are magnetic too. So the combo here is to get Ziliax out on the board, and then with everything else, just magnetize it to Ziliax.
And now he's even reduced further cost down to a 4 cost.
Yeah.
So really ramping up these mana charges. Does he have the ability to see that she's playing these mana charges? Or that she's getting these reductions? Or is that completely blind
I
to
don't
him?
believe he does, no. Because it's not like hand buff for Paladin where you can see what's being buffed in the Paladin's hand. Normally you can't tell if anything's being reduced in mana cost until it gets played.
Very interesting here. So she's working with information. Novice Zephyr, increasing spell damage here. He's gained a little bit of armor.
Oh, more stuff. Okay.
Oh, more magnetic spark.
I think you just go with the Ziliax here. Double
She's
the
just going to send the Ziliax here.
Stealth Reborn. One of them has lifesteal. That's huge. The Spider has magnetic. One of the all the Spark bots have magnetic.
And it looks like Ziliax has poison and stealth, right? So stealth
Yes,
cannot be...
and Reborn too.
So cannot be targeted by spells with stealth. Cannot, if it's killed, it's brought back to the battlefield with Reborn.
For stealth, I think you can still be targeted with area of effects stuff because it's not like full immunity. Like there is spell immunity in the game. I just think it makes you incapable of being a target for a spell, but you could still be affected by board clearing stuff.
Very interesting. We'll have to see if he has that in his hand already. Next turn, your nature spells cost 1 less.
With the flow.
Overloaded discard card.
Yeah, all of this is just overload combo stuff, yeah. Which makes it really interesting that he played a card really early and just like unlock all your overloaded crystals. It's like, don't know why you would get rid of that early, but you can. Also, I think the Ziliax has something on it that it doubles its attack every turn, which is what it just did. I'm not exactly sure. You can play the Frequency Oscillator to get all the Spark Buckets out for free, because it would reduce the cost by 1.
And you think that would be a wise move this turn, or should she just play them manually?
That's a good question. It's an opportunity. I don't think it's something she would need to do. I also don't think that she needs to do the Reborn immediately. I think you attack to get rid of your stealth, and then you re-stealth with the Spider Bot. That's normally how this combo goes, if I'm remembering correctly. As you attack, so your stealth goes away, and then you remagnetize stealth with the spider bot. That's the second card from the left. Yeah, so you do that. Oh, it does have protection from spells on it already, too. Okay, so this card is technically basically untargetable and undamageable by spells, so...
Even board clears?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think there's a spell in the game that could hurt this, other than, like, maybe Twisting Nether?
The Twisting Nether.
Yeah.
Summoning Totems here.
Because it would take a card that's just, like, don't target, destroy kind of spell, but if it's a spell that is AoE but does damage, rather than being just a straight, like, kill all, I think it's just completely immune to it.
So if he does not pull something out in the next 2 turns, Wise should win this.
That's correct. I believe that Wise can win this based off the combo. Though the interesting thing is that I don't believe... She may have another spider, but she doesn't have it in her hand, which means she wouldn't be able to re-stealth it immediately. That would put the opponent on 11. Targets adjacent enemy minions? I don't know why you would play that unless you're going to hit something of your own. Oh, yeah, there's the rag. Yeah, Silence minions is going to be huge here. Oh, is it X down? That's very rough. Yeah.
So that Reborn does come out. Ziliax is still on the board, but it does hamper a lot of what she wanted to do.
I think you need to play both Deafens to get rid of the ability for Rag to just do random damage. Yeah, those definitely need to come out. Unless she knows of a way for her to do 24 damage right off the bat by getting past this taunt minion. You need to deafen and then play the frequency oscillator to get everything else out. Like, that's all you really have. Yep. Let's get rid of one of the rags. She gets Rush. She's playing it solo. I'm not sure why she did that. I'm very sketchy at this point. Yeah.
So if 2 of those rags
if two of them hit her face, then yes, she's over. I don't know why she didn't use both Deafens on the Ragnaroses, because then she only had to worry about one. And then she could have used the poison swing from Ziliax to kill one. And then by giving Reborn, it would have come back anyway. And I think that was probably the best version that she could have gone for. Oh, wow. None of those went face. Okay. Woo!
She's got another turn.
I think it was... She didn't want to use... choose the targets. It doesn't help because they all have 8 health.
Yeah.
Unless you can all choose the same target for all of them, which it looks like you can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does that says gives 6 HP?
Yeah, but she doesn't have the mana to play it. She is going to kill Ragnaros here. And she is going to get rid of that other one.
Well, the great thing about this combo, the Ragnaros combo, for spell time, that's actually massive. The Ragnaros combo, I think you could summon is 3. So, but that leaves her open to 8 right to the face right now because she doesn't have anything else on board. Draw 3 cards. That's going to be all you got. So I'm going to draw 3 new cards. Hope you get something. Oh, sap. I don't want sap, but I think that's all you can do. And I don't think there's any... No, I don't believe that she doesn't have a taunt. So I think this is it for Wise here. Because all you have to do, yeah. That's all you have to do. There's nothing... Yeah. There's just opponent doing extra here, but... That was it for Wise, unfortunately. That's Wise going down 0-3 in the finals, unfortunately.
A very nice run, though, overall, making it here to the NJCAAE National Championships. You know, she is a runner-up, just like Jay, her partner and sort of mentor, was last year. You know, she's come all this way, and an incredible run from her. It really cannot be overstated, especially because she is so new to this game.
Yeah, and Wise, I think, started playing... I keep forgetting the exact time frame, but I would say she started playing a month before she even started playing, like, for the season. But, you know, the amount of time that she has under her belt to get as far as she did was crazy. So I commend her to getting to the finals and playing the best that she could to get to the position she was in. And, you know, there's going to be, you know, when they go back and watch the footage, there's going to be things that they want to take back and, you know, things that could have changed. But overall, you know, she got to the end, runner-up. It's a huge... I'm missing the word here, but a huge accomplishment. There you go. You know, not everybody can get to the finals, so having gotten that far and gotten into the postseason and just everything in general is a huge accomplishment here for Wise and Iowa Western in general. And we thank Salt Lake for not only the finals game, but the semifinals, and just like now we kind of have that school rivalry in Hearthstone because it's happened 2 years in a row now. So or 2 semesters in a row now. So hopefully in the fall we can do it again, and that'd be even more fun if we just keep going to the finals of 2 colleges back to back.
Absolutely, we'll have to see them again next semester.
Yeah.
You know, we expect you to be there, Salt Lake. So until we can come for your title, don't let anyone else beat us to it. But really proud of Wise and the season that she's had, everything, you know, she's managed to accomplish. Her and Jay both are Reivers here at the Iowa Western family. You know, they work really hard. They put in a lot of training, and everything that they've done here in the gaming community and with you guys, we thank them so much for everything that they do, and we look forward to bringing you guys more content here in the future.
Yeah, and then just for the end of the stream tonight, because I don't want to forget to do it Thursday, and it just popped into my brain. But, you know, everyone who's been part of esports here this semester and the semesters past who's graduating, next week, 2 weeks from now? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who are graduating here at Iowa Western, and we thank them for being great students, being great athletes, for having stuck out multiple seasons and just playing the best games that they can. So if they graduate, we thank them for their participation in the program. We hope they all get their degrees. I think, Jay, you're graduating, aren't you? Yep, you're graduating in May. And then Wise is coming back that I'm aware of. So Wise could end up being back in the finals next semester. And then we got to, you know, over the summer, got to recruit more people. But Ryan's graduating. I'm losing like 6 or 7 people from Overwatch. There's a bunch of them. But
that's... That's amazing.
We saw it, but it says for next game. It doesn't count for the current game.
Well, I can't.
I know. I'm giving.
Definitely accomplishing those milestones. Really, you know, going out and doing exactly what we set out to do as a college. You know, get our students those educations and make sure they're on the right path to success in the future. And we wish them all well.
Yeah, and. You know, they're always welcome back. Like, we have that, you know.
Some of them.
They're always welcome in chat. They're always welcome to come back and talk and hang out. So, you know, whether they are here, you know, close enough to come back to the school is, you know, even the question.
Another thing, and it's entirely here in Council Bluffs, Iowa, outside of Omaha. But I think that's going to be it for us. That was the stream we had for you guys. So thank you all so much for your continued support. And we hope to we'll be bringing you Gunfight here on Thursday.
That
I
is
believe
correct.
is at 5 p.m.
It is at 5, yes.
5 p.m. So stay tuned for that, and we hope to give you guys a great match then. Up until then,
Up against Central.
Until then, I'm Keith. This is Josh. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you all next time.
Peace out, everybody. And then make sure you hit that like button.